They're not necessarily anybody doing something fabulous or fantastic, but we can take these little things and we can still use them as opportunities to connect and to notice and to help kids learn more about themselves. So just try to practice. See where you can apply it. All right, we're going to have time to talk about positive intent, which I think is maybe one of the most important ones when it comes to changing our interaction with kids. So the concept is we see the best in others. The big idea is that we value diversity. And when we make a conscious effort to see the best in each person, we are rewarded with improved interaction. So a lot of this happens internally, right? So how we see things and how we think of things can actually drastically change our interactions with people, right? Kids are very, very intuitive. So principles. See the best in others. What you offer others, you strengthen in yourself. So again, it's that idea of I learn something positive about myself, and then the child learns something positive about themselves. Children are either extending love or calling for love. Attributing negative intent to children teaches gang readiness skills. So I started that one because I think it's so important. And you can kind of even see these gang readiness skills sometimes on the playground. If we have identified bad children, a lot of times these children kind of will team up together in the playground. Has anybody ever seen that before? And that a lot of times that is us. We are creating that by, in our minds, labeling children. This is the bad child. So be really, really careful with that. If you notice yourself starting to think about a child that way, that's a great time to start bouncing things off coworkers or talking about it with someone who can help you with that. Because kids pick up on that. They learn real quickly if they're the bad child, right? And again, that person at the beginning of the video really talked about that and how that had led him into gangs because he felt comfortable with those other people. So just something to think about. And if you notice that where we have 2 or 3 children kind of clinging together that seem to be kind of the troublemakers, we may unconsciously be contributing to that. So, and then children cannot behave differently until they are seen differently. So it's really, we trap children into a certain pattern of behaviors when we attribute negative intent to their behaviors. Once we're able to extend the positive regard, the spell is broken, we're able to help fill in the skills that they need, and now they can move forward. So a lot of times, we're the ones trapping children in behaviors, and a lot of it is mental with how we're thinking of things. Does that make sense? And that's where it's kind of cool for me when I get to come in and work with you guys, because I sometimes will get to see these really strong shifts just from sitting down and having a conversation, because you start to see things differently. And we all need that sometimes. All right, so how do you attribute positive intent? Reach for the intent behind the child's behavior. So look for what were they actually trying to do. So example where maybe a child just grabbed another child's toy. You wanted the bear, didn't you? Right? Our initial reaction is we want to solve the problem. Give him back his bear, apologize, why did you take that? But the child doesn't really learn anything from that. So if I can take the time to notice, oh, you wanted the bear, right? And then we direct the teaching moment. Next time you want the bear, say, Tommy, can I play with the bear, please? And then you can actually make them practice. So, starting even with little kids, hey, let's do this the right way. Let's try it. So once you have identified the child's true motive, you can help them and coach them on how they can better meet their desire. Now, we don't always have time to do this, but we want to try to step back and take the time to figure out what was that child trying to do. Everybody has a positive intent, even if the positive intent is, I want to get my needs met, right? That's why I actually love hearing when people say, well, that child's manipulating. Awesome, that child knows how to get their needs met. Now let's work with that. Let's teach them a different way.
What actually helps when you do that, I've learned, it's when you teach them that, but also you say, okay, 5 minutes, I'm setting the timer, and then the other person can have it back.
Yeah.
Then they both are pretty open to doing it.
Yeah, in this class we share. Right? This is how we do things, we share. I know you want the bear, so let's let him have his turn. In 5 minutes I'll come practice with you how you can get the bear.
But it's nice that they're able to see that, oh, okay, this will, I'll get it back, okay, but the other one also, oh, I can actually, and so they start doing that themselves. They learn to, okay, can I borrow this? And Miss Claudia, can you set the clock for, you know?
Yeah.
And they see it positively.
Yeah, it's a positive because they're learning this is how I can get my needs met. It actually works. We're going to teach them something, we need to make sure it's going to work. So, all right, so let's do some examples. I'm going to divide you guys up again. I need let's see, I need a fifth one, so I'll come up with a fifth one. So what we're going to do is I want you guys to, first of all, label the positive intent behind what they were doing. So what was their positive intention? And then think about how you could label that for them and teach them how to do it in a better way, okay? So front table, you guys are going to do the first one. It's okay to split up into 2 groups. And then second one, next table, third one, you guys, fourth one, you guys. And now I have to come up with a fifth one, so let me think for a second. Does anybody? Does anyone have one?
Yeah, she just walking the classroom. Labeling the positive is just talk about this with her friends. And then time. Remember, this is where I'm offering time at the end of circle time. Let her share about whatever she was saying about. Just like when you came to the class, you did this breathing, have a step and then get it all out. Get everybody at circle time. Do you know when the next session is? I don't know
if you put it on the calendar. Okay. I think we were just talking about the fact that so we're trying to do it like every 3 months. Okay. So
I was done there.
All right, you guys, take about 1 more minute. And share it.
Okay, and we're You're supposed to be learning positive intent,
Alright, you guys ready to focus up? You guys ready to share what you got? We'll just talk through it if you're not done. Alright, so let's start with the first one. Ruth starts speaking very loudly and excitedly during circle time. What did you guys come up with?
Yeah, we just said that, I mean, she's excited. Her intent is that she probably has realized or seen something or has a connection that she wants to make, and she's excited and she wants to be heard.
I like that. So, hey, that's a real positive thing. When I'm a trainer, I get really excited if you guys get engaged and excited, right? So that's a positive intent. She's excited about my circle time. Yeah. That's pretty cool. So what might we say to her?
So she, like a redirection to bring her back down, she was saying it would be a good way to have Ruth to help teach her friends how to speak loudly when they're, talking, or even teach her friends how to whisper and be quiet, and you could turn that into, you're just making that a positive thing and being able to teach her friends how to be loud and excited about certain things.
Yeah, Ruth, you're so excited about circle time today. actually, let's all be loud and excited for a minute. If I've got control of my classroom, I can do that, right? I can let the kids be kind of loud. So that's a good idea. Yeah, I like that. Now let's practice talking really soft and quietly.
Yeah.
Right? And then they practice how to bring it up and down. I like that. Cool. What did you guys come up with?
So kind of the same thing, that just she is excited, and so maybe even giving her an opportunity, if she's got something that she's so excited to share, let her have an opportunity to share, at the end of circle time or something like that. And just, really just sharing in her excitement rather than just it's time to sit down and be quiet. Like, investigate for a minute what she's excited about and give her an opportunity to share that with her friends.
Awesome. Yeah, so right now I'm going to be talking for a minute, and let's share that with the class in about 5 minutes, okay? Can you be patient with me? Cool. So in both cases, you guys are helping her practice something. Very good.
And that is also a trait of a leader. You need it.
I know. So talking about one of my pet peeves as a therapist is I, work individually with children so hard. I'm teaching them to be confident, teaching them to speak up, teaching them to say what they need. And sometimes I get a little defeated thinking, okay, I just taught this child to do this and now I'm going to send her back and the world's going to beat it back out of her, right? So that's where when we think about this positive intent and we see a child that has great self-esteem, I'm thinking, wow, that's awesome. Let's use that in a good way. And a lot of times as adults, we're thinking, we're kind of thinking like, oh, this is a difficult child, or this child's kind of precocious or difficult to manage. And why not look at it, hey, this child has awesome self-esteem, let's use that. Cool. All right, so the next one's a little harder. Ryan starts yelling, butt face, while laughing as the children are sitting down to eat lunch. This has never happened before.
This happens in my classroom every single day at lunch.
Cool.
Every day. And you're right, that was amazing.
And I didn't even observe this, and I put it up there.
So we talked about this, and I was asking them, because they're in the younger class before mine, and kind of how they would deal with that, because ours, it seems like it just spreads. Like this one's butt face, and then pretty soon we got something else, and everybody, nobody's eating. And so they talked about, are you helping or hurting? And are these helpful words? And hey, this is really funny, but how do you feel if you called you butt face? What is something we could say that would make you feel good about yourself instead of using the word butt face?
Or it seems like you're being funny. Like
you're trying to be funny.
Why don't we tell a joke? Or we can sing this silly song where we make
face.
funny rhymes.
Yeah, so help me think of a silly song. Remember this song that we sang that you really liked? Do you want to help lead the class in that? Yeah, great, because that kid, he wanted attention at that particular moment, and most of the time we're just kind of trying to shut it down right away, which is understandable, but it doesn't necessarily move us forward.
You can also draw on the feelings piece of the other kids. Do you like being called that? Do you like, what are some things that you wouldn't mind being called as you? Come over here, friend, and sit down next to me. We're having lunch. And maybe kind of changing the tone of the whole table that way too.
Yeah, so you definitely want to kind of go over there. You want to start to become the center point because that kid just became the center point with his butt face, right? So I want to now become the center point if I can. And then I like how to redirect it, let them do something funny. Can we all sing a funny song together? Why don't you help lead that? And it depends on the intent. My intent with this was kind of like he just being funny, right? But if he's actually calling somebody a name and being mean, that's a different one, right? Then we coach that other child. Do you like that?
Would it be a good time to okay, butt face is not, you don't want to start something that's already been started, but okay, you know what? Sounds like you want to say butt face. How about we all say butt face one time and then we move
Get
it
out of
on?
our system.
Yeah, or is that
That's a,
fueling the fire?
Yeah, that's a kind of use your intuition kind of thing.
Well, then because the teacher just said butt face, so that's super funny, The teacher just said it.
Yeah, exactly. So it does take a little bit out of it instead of me acting like, oh my gosh, you can't say that. Because when I, as an adult, tell children, you can't say that, what did I just tell them? I just gave them fuel. Now you have a way to kind of get my ire or get people worked up or make people laugh. So if you can find a way to kind of take a little bit of that out of it and say, I can say butt face too, but that's one of those things that kids like to say but adults don't like to say, so let's maybe do something else right now.
Or phrasing it when you're thinking instead of saying butt face, why don't we take power away from the word?
Yeah, they kind of take power away from it. But when we always approach it from the standpoint of that's inappropriate, don't say that. we don't really get anywhere, so it's just trying to be creative. Yeah. Okay, next one, back here. Kylie hits another child after trying to grab a toy from the same child. You guys think, what's the positive intent?
They definitely want the toy.
She really is into whatever that.
You really like that doll, you really like that honey bird, don't you? Yeah, so what might you say to her?
Say it. If you want to play with that toy, you should tap and ask.
Yeah.
Ask if you can play with it, yes.
So yeah,
Rather than hitting.
usually what we say is like, don't hit, right? We run over, don't hit, we try to fix the problem. And Kyla never got validated, she just wanted that toy. You know, she doesn't care about the fact she hit, she cares about the fact that other child had a toy she wanted. So if we take the time to validate, like, wow, you really like that doll, don't you? She's got this doll, you really like it.
If you want to play with it
Look
next
at her face now. What is her face saying? Her face is saying, you hurt me, you made me sad. So here's what we have to do instead, right? And then hopefully she can learn something. Cool, all right. Next one. This one comes up, and I've noticed this in some of the schools already, that our children love to draw detailed anatomy or things like that. So, what do you guys think? What's our positive intent here?
Actual experience. And I'm not sure if I handled it correctly, but I felt like he wanted me to acknowledge me in that section. So he was telling me the different parts, and then instead of me acknowledging that, I said, "Wow, look at that cool smile that you drew. You have any teeth? There's a tooth in there." Or I just tried to.
Because
I've never been in that situation, so
yeah.
And it was sheer panic, what?
Yeah.
What?
Most of us do is that we either want to shut it down or it's inappropriate, you can't do that, we pretend like we didn't see it.
Right. That's what I did, because I didn't want to be no, we don't draw that, because some
But
parents are okay.
why is the positive intent?
I think he was trying to be funny, honestly,
trying to be
because
funny.
that he has older siblings.
Okay.
Daddy has
I noticed, because we don't talk about it, we shut things down, so kids start to notice, I notice there's some fascination with these body parts, right? And so, yeah, it's hard to know how to handle it, especially when you're in a classroom full of kids.
I was like,
yeah.
what's that smile?
channeling my husband.
They're like, what's that?
So yeah, you can use our therapy expected to launch into a full therapy session, but we also don't have to immediately shut it down or make them change it. Oh, you have to cross that out. It's just, hey, I'm gonna notice that, wow, you put some really detailed anatomy on this picture. What's going on? Why doesn't this person have any clothes on? I'm just wondering about that. So just to kind of take that shock out of it, because I said I've worked in the field of sexual abuse for years and years. When the reason sexual abuse happens is because we make it secret. We can't talk about it. Kids try to express it to us and we shut it down. And then what do? They go try to explore it with other kids. So it's better to just try to take it out of it. Okay, wow, there's some detail on this picture. I wonder why this person doesn't have clothes on.
Oh, we can really tell whether it's a boy or a girl.
Yeah, I see it's an accurate boy.
Well, that would even be some of those children's books, when she put a girl on her son. And I said, well, where's mommy? This is mommy. This is Zoe, this is me. And this is Daddy, you can tell because he's the only one. I said, you're right, Daddy. And we just moved on. This is not.
Well, what we have to
Sometimes you may find out.
Make more that's
I'm fascinated with that.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want to say what you guys were doing?
Well, it's called, we have children that undress.
Disrobing.
Disrobing. And now, one of them, it's almost justified. She goes home, Mom says she walks through the door, and the second, all her clothes are off till she's buck naked.
Right.
But it's just her mom that live there.
Right.
And that's cool. But she, for the longest, she was our only girl with 5 boys.
Right.
She could not
And
run
she's the
around with
youngest.
Scotsman.
And of course, it's coming up for you, oh my gosh, we don't really like have a licensing issue. We don't have to file
And now
it.
she's potty trained.
Yeah, and so we got these.
So-
So she, before she gets to the bathroom, she's taking all her clothes off and the boys are going, look, she's got a butt.
But we also have siblings, a 3-year-old, and
6-year-old.
6-year-old, and a 10-year-old. And every one of those boys, when they go to the bathroom, have their clothes off. Strip, buck naked, get with their feet on the top of the toilet, and go to the bathroom.
And she makes sense.
So what's the positive and
That's very interesting.
so what do you think is the positive intent? What are kids doing? It's innocent, right? So what are they doing?
You are learning to dress and undress.
They're learning to dress and undress.
Help his wardrobe up when he comes in.
Yeah, we make them our own clothes back, we don't do it for them, so that they learn that. And when we've got 2-year-olds, they can put their own shoes, socks, everything on by themselves. We had kids that there were 5 and didn't know how to put their jacket on by themselves. So we taught them the technique, laying it on the floor, sticking their hands in and go over their head.
So we kind of like, why don't we get the dolly dress? We don't want to get the dolly clothes.
Yeah, well, again, it's
And
like,
then they're like,
oh,
oh.
no, you're standing there with no clothes on.
What
Are
happened?
you cold? Yeah, what happened? Where did the clothes go? Well, usually when we're with other people, we have to keep our clothes on. So let's practice putting our clothes on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
so
tell
it
her,
doesn't
I
have
don't
to be
want
a-
to see your butt.
It's my butt.
But again, it doesn't have to be a big, because our thing is, oh, we want to hide it, right? But then kids start to learn, oh, there's something wrong with me.
Oh, no, we just get her.
Something's wrong with my body, there's something I can't talk to you about. So we don't have to do that, but we can't talk to them about privacy, right? Like, hey, usually when we're with other people, we've got to keep our clothes on, and so let's help you get dressed because we want to cover your private parts. But it doesn't have to be a big deal. Alright, so these things are fun to talk about. It's much harder in the moment, right? It's much harder in the moment because as adults we just want to shut these things down. So just things to keep thinking through, talk through with the person you work with, and just challenge yourself. Alright, so very last activity and then we're done is you guys all have the sheet where you had a child in mind. What I want you to do is pair up if you would. And I want you to take a minute to describe the difficult child that you have on that sheet to your neighbor using these ideas of positive intent. So instead of describing this child, has all these bad behaviors, I want you to just take a second, describe that child with all of these ideas of noticing the positive qualities, noticing what's in that child's heart, the positive intent.
Go for it.